All right. Welcome everyone again. Momentous day, groundbreaking for the Visions FCU track and field. We're very excited to be joined today by a number of honored guests. My name is David Whitmore. I am Vice President of Advancement at Binghamton University and Executive Director of the Binghamton University Foundation. I've only been at the institution for about 5 months now, so I'm humbled by the opportunity to MC today. And basically my job is simple. I'm going to introduce a number of people who need no introduction because you know them very, very well. From the campus, from the community. These are people who have been leading in many important ways, and it's an honor to have them here today and have them address you all. As you all know, probably better than I do, the partnership between Visions and Binghamton University has been strong for many, many years. Tom Hughes, the CEO, will address us in a little bit, is the vice chair of the Binghamton University Foundation Board, among many other wonderful community commitments. So I can't really say enough about the impact that Visions and its incredibly dedicated staff have had on this campus, and the partnership that has been realized, really culminating in this project. I'm sure not ending with it, but this will be a very nice recognition of the place that Visions has held in our hearts here at Binghamton. So I'll stop there. Many more people who know this area much better than I do are going to speak, and my first real privilege is to introduce you to the first person you know very well, our incredible president, Harvey Stenger. Harvey.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that, and thank you for everyone who are here. I love these events because we're outside, we get to have little refreshments, we get to thank donors, and then afterwards we all go for a race around the track. Ty, I've got the handicap. I'm starting here, you're going to start over there. So thanks for being here to dedicate this groundbreaking. This is a $5.6 million project to upgrade Binghamton's track and field facility. And it's happening thanks to the support from the Division of Student Affairs, the Division of Athletics, New York State, and Visions Federal Credit Union. It was so big, we couldn't do it with just one gift. We had to spread it across. My thanks go out to Visions CEO, Dr. Ty Hughes, honorary doctorate from Binghamton University last year, as well as our athletic director, Gene Marshall, our Vice President for Student Affairs, Brian Rose, and our Vice President for Advancement, David Whitmore, for making this happen. We're committed to providing Binghamton student athletes and fans with the best facilities in the America East Conference. Between the event center, the baseball and softball stadiums, the field house, the Bearcat Sports Complex, West Gym, and now the Visions track and field facility, Binghamton's venues are all top-notch. That's fitting because Binghamton's track and field programs have already been doing outstanding work in producing world-caliber athletes. Take, for example, Binghamton alumna Emily Mackay. Emily participated, as you know, in the 2024 Olympics in Paris, earned a bronze medal in the 1500 meters at the U.S. Outdoor Championships earlier this month. And I think she just won something last weekend that I don't even have in my notes because it happened so recently. And that earned her a spot at the World Outdoor Championships in September. She was joined at the national meet by another student that I knew when he was here, Eric Holt, a 2018 Binghamton grad who competed in the men's 1500 meters, and Marcus Johnson. What a great story for Marcus, a recent graduate who ran in the 400-meter hurdles at that competition. I want to thank our track and field and cross-country coaches, Mike Thompson and Annette Acuff. You are the best. Not that they're old, but they have nearly 50 years of combined coaching experience, combined, here at Binghamton University. They've coached NCAA champions and Olympians. We wouldn't be able to upgrade this facility without the stability, success, and opportunity they provided to our student athletes. I hope that this rejuvenated track and field complex helps Binghamton continue to build on its legacy of developing champion student athletes and people who represent the university well around the world. I think this is also a big win for the greater Binghamton and Vestal communities. Being able to host competitive meets here is going to attract many visitors over the coming years, which is great for local businesses. A state-of-the-art track and field facility is going to have some tremendous benefits for our student athletes. To be able to compete at home is going to be a huge advantage for our student athletes and their families and friends who will have more opportunities to see them in action. I think prospective students and recruits are also going to be amazed and attracted to Binghamton because of this facility. I also want to mention the castle over there that Brian Rose is building, 75,000 square foot expansion of the East Gym. What a setting this will be eventually. You can see just how massive it is. The newly expanded East Gym will include new basketball and volleyball courts, an elevated track, and 4 multi-purpose rooms. With the growth we've experienced in our student population, this expansion was overdue and certainly necessary. Along with the renovations to the track and field, it marks the university's commitment to fitness and well-being. We hope that this area of campus becomes a hub of activity for students to focus on their health, which includes their social and emotional well-being. It's a big day for the university, for our student athletes, and for our community. We would not be able to do this without Ty and the team at Visions, not only for this gift on behalf of the track and field facility at the university, but for all of their support throughout our community over the years. Visions has supported the Center for Student Athlete Excellence, the Institute for Child Development, and the Fleischman Center, our Office for Career and Professional Development, as well as so many other charities and organizations in our areas that have helped our neighbors lead better lives. Ty's motto is that he wants to make visions matter. Visions certainly does matter. To date, Visions has invested more than $14 million. Don't know if that number's right, but I'm just going to say millions and millions and millions of dollars in the local community, supporting hundreds of different causes far beyond the boundaries of this campus. And its employees spend more than 3,000 hours every year volunteering, especially in a massive food drive that helps more than 12 food pantries in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Visions has made a meaningful difference in the lives of so many, both on this campus and throughout the entire community. Visions does matter. And we at Binghamton University are so grateful to continue to partner with you on initiatives like this that make our campus a better place to be. Thank you to Visions and to our partners from Student Affairs, Athletics, and from New York State for making these upgrades to the track and field facility possible. Thank you again. Back to David.
Thank you, Harvey. For those of you who were not online today, there was a different announcement that took place, somewhat significant to Binghamton University. And I just want to say, to have Harvey here at the zenith of his time at Binghamton is incredibly meaningful, I know, to all of us. So thank you so much, Harvey. Another round of applause. This university is simply incredible, thanks in large part to you and the team here, so thank you. My next great privilege is to introduce my good colleague, Brian Rose, who I think is sitting right in front of me, Vice President of Student Affairs. Brian.
Thank you. When you get invited to a public event and you've been around as long as I have, and you arrive and there's a pile of loose dirt behind you, you get a little nervous. But my speechwriter, Gene Marshall, actually came up with that line, so thank you, Gene. Look, the message I want to share is one of just partnerships and thank yous. Partnerships. Harvey mentioned the addition that we're able to install, really with his willingness to support it, to the East Gym. And I want to go back in time. I arrived here in 2008, and at that time, Binghamton was relatively new in the world of Division I athletics. And to make that transition necessarily and appropriately, the athletic facilities that the university invested in were those important to sustain success in intercollegiate athletics. And so what at that point lagged was we needed to catch up with the recreational facilities that we offered our students that participate in club sports and intramural sports and just general fitness and wellness activities. And we were fortunate to be able to do a renovation to the existing East Gym at that time. And then over time, we were able to add an artificial turf field that's behind us. And the big project was always the addition to the gym. And to make that happen, we had to relocate the throwing area that is part of the track and field complex for our intercollegiate athletics competitions. And to have an athletic director in Gene that was supportive of moving all of the dominoes around in order to be able to support not only the advancement of intercollegiate athletics, but also the advancement of general fitness and athletic opportunities for our student body at large. That is not the typical response of an athletic director. And I'm very, very grateful for your university-wide perspective and willingness to be a great partner. Thank you. And speaking of great partnerships, and Harvey alluded to this, or very directly in his remarks, Visions has invested in the university in so many different ways, including within the areas I'm responsible for, the Fleischman Center for Career and Professional Development being just one. And we had been talking for years about improving the track complex, not only for the purpose of hosting athletic competitions, but also to serve the general student body and the broader community, because this is one of the spaces on campus that community members use extensively. And so to be able to bring all of the different pieces that Harvey described together to achieve everything that we wanted to achieve, to upgrade the track and to install an artificial surface field here on what we currently call Goose Field, is really a great opportunity. And so my thank yous, obviously, to Ty and to Visions, to President Stenger, to Gene Marshall, and I want to acknowledge my staff in campus recreation, our current director, Tom St. John, but also the director that served for so many years here and really helped us to realize this vision, Clyde Robinson, who has retired. But Clyde was a great partner as we worked through all of this, so I wanted to acknowledge him as well. And with that, I believe I'll turn it back over to David, right? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian. I'm very happy to introduce our next guest, our athletic director, without whose vision none of this would have been possible, not to mention his ability to get stuff done. And so with that, I will introduce you to our athletic director. I'm new. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I don't know with this dirt here, maybe somebody's telling me something. Maybe there will be a new athletic director and that one will get buried. But no, I do want to thank everybody for coming. And also, it's about relationships and partnerships. One of the things that I think that Binghamton has that other places did not have is that everybody's willing to work together. It's not siloed city. Everybody's trying to help one another get better. Brian takes credit for, as the chair of the search committee, to bring me here. But then when things go wrong, he boots me back to Harvey. So, but no, Brian's friendship and relationship, Donald's the same, and Ty has been good. We're fellow Huskies together, as well as Greg. We all went to Northeastern at a different time up in Boston, but there's a nice synergy there. But I think the biggest thing is we have great people, great staff. I have great coaches, administrators, but more importantly, student athletes. They're the engine that drives everything. And in particularly the track student athletes who have done a lot with a little. Coaches who have done a lot with a little. And for that, I want to say thank you, coaches, for your patience and faith. Thank you, student athletes, for your patience and faith. This crazy guy that came in here a couple years ago said, yeah, we're going to work on your track, and yeah, we're going to do something inside. And they probably said, yeah. Well, we've been blessed that working together with Visions, working together with Harvey, who is going out the door and still making magic happen. It's been a great time to be a Bearcat. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the $33 million scholarship endowment that we received from an anonymous donor, 22.6 million from the donor, 50% match, another 11 million, that again gives our student athletes the opportunity to compete at a high level and not have to worry about certain things. And then when it came to Bryant talking about, hey, we need to move the throwing area for the project. Well, at the end of the day, our student athletes are students first. So there are other students that we have to support because they support us. So that was a easy thing to do. And then you couple with the fact that we were able to get the running course renovated, and now getting the track renovated. And then if you look at our academic success from the Visions Center of Excellence, which Ty and his group have really supported, and now with this to go along with our Olympians, but more importantly, our student athletes who do well, who win. So now our student athletes will be able to continue their world-class pursuits with a world-class facility. That one of the things I know parents want to be able to, when can we come to campus and watch our student athletes compete? Well, very soon you'll be able to do that. So to me, it's a great day to be a Bearcat. We got a couple of things that are going to keep cooking. I think the support that we receive on campus is phenomenal. I want to thank everybody for that, especially facilities who do a great job, Joanne's group, to make our facilities the best. Every time we hold meetings or other teams or other institutions come, they leave envious. So I just want to say thanks. And before you decide to put me in the dirt over there, I just want to say go Bearcats.
Thank you so much, Gene. Now it is my great honor to introduce the CEO of Visions Federal Credit Union, who you know very well. I've had the opportunity to see Ty speak a couple of times, and I have to say I've learned something each time. And most recently at commencement, when he received his honorary doctorate from the university. He's an incredible member of this community, been an incredible partner to this university, and we're happy, very happy to call him one of our own. Ty Muse.
Man, you gotta have an even longer walkway, just to track through my time. Do you get my split on that hard?
Just loosen up.
Just loosen up a little bit. Well, first and foremost, thank you, Dave. It's been a great honor and pleasure that we had the ability to bring you in, have you join us, and we're already seeing the lift that's already happening in our programs as we finish our campaign. Thinking about the next campaign already, because I can only imagine what your imagination is going to do for it. So I can't wait to work with you as you're building your team and your staff. First, this must be a pretty big deal. I have over half my board here. I just looked up and I was trying to make sure. Tracy, I'm still hired, right? I still have maybe I just check might have been a little bit too big, Harvey. But with that said, I really appreciate the board members. For what you may not know, even though we're a very successful, large financial institution, we're actually a not-for-profit. And so think about doing banking in a not-for-profit way. So it makes it a little bit easier when you want to do these long-term investments in groups and companies. I don't have quarterly earnings to try to make sure I beat and meet. I can do what I think is best for our community with our support. And when I look out into the, field, one of the interesting things, I also see a lot of my staff here. My entire senior leadership team's here. You got Jeremiah here, who's your contact person here, staff. It just shows you that Binghamton means more to us than just the check we write. So with that said, I was thinking, people are like, well, why would you make this donation? So the first thing I know a lot of you are thinking, No, I didn't do this because my wife is on the track team. Ryan, I know that's what you thought. You're like, man, coach, way to go. Didn't do it for that reason. I didn't do it because I did track in college either. You know, but with that said, if there was not a track scholarship for me, I would not be here. It's just that simple. You don't really understand the importance of the student athlete and the opportunity. Gene, student athlete, and our connection, what that teaches you in leadership, how to lose, how to win. I really appreciated the opportunity to talk to the students yesterday. And one of the things I said to the students is, when they think Binghamton, they go, oh yeah, it's a really good value school. That's a really good deal. It'd be really smart to go to that school. I also want to think, yeah, but they will also beat you in every sporting event that we can come up with. I really think it's a really important part to be competitive, and I don't want us to lose that part. There's something about being a track athlete as well, that you're competing with yourself as much. Unlike golf where there's a handicap, I mean, every time you walk on, it doesn't matter if it's Michael Jordan, you have to beat Michael Jordan. Or at least beat your last time or your last jump, right? And how much work you put in it, how your ability to stay healthy, your ability to maintain is all important. But then you still have to be a very, very good student and manage your time and discipline. Selfishly, I also live in Vestal. And I think about the opportunities it can have for the community. This was probably one of the first things I did in the university. I walked the track when I first got here. I was just trying to get my miles in. It was an easy way to track it before these little wearables track me everywhere I go. And then it was starting to think about, man, why don't we have track meets here? And then I found out about kind of like the disconnect and what we were able to actually do because of the size of the track and the way it was built and when it was built. And it was starting to think about, imagine what we could do if we could have more meets here, more events here, local events, state championships here. And that was the beginning of a lot of these thoughts. That's how we got basketball here for the high school state championship. Was thinking ahead, how can we work with the arena? Now the university. Now think about all the hotels and the food and tax and the revenue we can make for our little town of Vestal. All that's really, really important to us. And then finally, before we get out of here, Harvey, before we both leave this location, maybe not today, we will race on this track. See, Harvey's smart. He'll make the race long because he knows he can out-endure me. I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. But seriously, your creativity, and this goes to Brian particularly, when he first pitched this idea and he was showing the shortfall they need to get there. And Sheila had connected us about if we were to sit down, this was the exact amount, but then this was the economic impact it would have. It became a no-brainer for us. We're like, as long as we get multiple years to get there, as we kind of come out of a tough financial year. But we appreciate that creativity that you had. And I just can't wait to see what it looks like when we're all done. So with that said, thank you as always for the opportunity. Thanks for always thinking visions first. Thank you for the opportunity to be the financial institution in there. Thank you for providing the opportunity to provide the financial wellness to so many of your employees and your students. And thank you most of all for just the time and the leadership that you've had and the friendship. So I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Ty, and thank you to the board members of Visions, the staff who joined us today. This is truly going to be a wonderful monument to the partnership you've shown this community for so many years and will continue to do so. For those who don't know, we're doing the groundbreaking today. The track will get started, I think, in spring of 2026, hence the pile of dirt behind us. Before we move to closing and the photo op, I just want to thank my staff in advancement and donor relations for setting up this event. Thank you all for coming and being part of this, thanking the weather for being what it is today.